Um, I think it's a very new interpretation. Yeah, it felt. I was so surprised when I read the script. Again, and I've been a fan of Tarzan since I was a little boy, so I know the story pretty well, and I love the way Adam Cozart, a writer, approached Tarzan and Jane and this story, while still staying true to the origin story. You know, it's in the movie, but in flashbacks. I love the idea that it's surprising. You know, you don't meet Tarzan, you Jane in a loincloth. It's a sophisticated British gentleman in the beginning of the movie, and then he goes back to the jungle, and slowly the layers come off, and he becomes Tarzan, the ape man. And I thought it was interesting to go that way as opposed to the other way, like they do in most other Tarzan movies or in the novel. Well, he's definitely been bruised and scarred. You can see that we spent 2 weeks before the shoot just deciding on where all the scars would be, because we felt that it was important that when the suit finally comes off and you see Tarzan, it was important to see that you can tell that he's been through a lot growing up in the jungle, and that it's been a very violent upbringing, and that he had to fight every day in order to survive. So we wanted big, ugly cuts and big scars that just healed naturally on his body.
Yes, I've put a word in at the
Tarzana.
studio for the sequel to be Tarzana, whereby I am the heroic character. Yeah, I think it'd be really fun.
And Alex.
I would see it.
Would you go see that?
I would definitely go see that one.
Cool.
We're about to find out. I'm actually flying to Stockholm, where my father lives, tomorrow morning. So I'm going from Beijing to Stockholm, and we do a premiere in 2 days in Stockholm, and that's where I was born and raised. So I'm incredibly excited to be there with my mom, all my siblings, my childhood friends, and obviously first and foremost to sit next to my dad, who introduced me to Tarzan when I was a little boy, and who's been a huge fan his entire life. He hasn't seen the movie yet, so I'm nervous but very excited to share it with him.
Are you upset by that?
You mean if I feel conflicted that he's in Marvel world and you're in the DC comic world? It's a tough position to be in.
You're
yes.
stuck in the middle.
I am stuck in the
Yeah.
middle. So with Margot, I'm like, DC Comics, the best. And then with my dad, I'm like, Marvel's awesome, Dad. I'm a Swede, so I'm a good diplomat. That's a good question. I don't really know. In a way, I felt like I just kind of played one. When I was a kid, I always considered Tarzan a superhero, and I love the fact that he obviously doesn't have any superpowers, and he's not an alien. He doesn't come from outer space. There's no mutation or crazy gadgets or anything. And I think that's one of the reasons he's so cool and people find him so awesome, that it's someone who just this innocent, vulnerable boy growing up in the jungle. And in order to survive, he had to tap into this inner strength. And just by using his brain and his fists, he became a superhero in a way. So yeah, so maybe in a way I feel like I've just done it.
I didn't turn down Birdman. I would have absolutely loved to be a part of Birdman.
Why do you reject Alejandro?
I got to meet Alejandro.
IMDb said that.
IMDb, it's crazy, but sometimes the internet's wrong, believe it or not. No, I got to do the table read for Birdman, because at one point Emma Stone already had the role, and then I think I don't know, but I think there was a scheduling conflict, so she wasn't going to be able to do it. So I stepped in to do the table read, and that while they worked out her dates. So I never had the role to begin with. It was always Emma's role. I was just fortunate enough to be there for the table read and got to read with everyone and Alejandro. I would do anything to work with him. Yeah, I mean, I think Marilyn's a fascinating character. It's definitely like big shoes to fill because so many amazing actresses have already played her. But I think she's got a fascinating life story. It's something that I would definitely consider exploring. Ronaldo is crazy about me.
Yes. He likes your Instagram.
How does he feel about me?
You love him?
He might like your Instagram too. Oh, you don't have Instagram, that's
No,
why.
yes, yeah.
Who is your favorite football soccer player?
Of all time or today? Zidane. I love Zidane. Yeah. On Sunday between Portugal and France, I would probably root for France. Yeah.
France.
Yeah, because Sweden we got kicked out long ago, and then I really liked Iceland, and they got kicked out, and so in the final between those two, Ronaldo is an incredible player, one of the greatest of all time, and I do like Portugal as well, but I think I'd probably go for France on Sunday. Probably Zlatan. I mean, I grew up watching Henrik and loved him, and big fan of Celtic, so but Zlatan is arguably the greatest player we've ever had. Yeah.
I'm also a fan of him.
Do you think he's better than Henrik Larsson?
Yes, because I'm a fan of AC Milan.
AC Milan.
Yes.
Between Zlatan and Henrik Larsson, which one would you have to, do you have to pick one? Who'd you go? I know it's a tough call because they're both incredible players. Henrik Larsson is obviously retired, and Zlatan is not. So
who's the underdog in this situation? I tend to just.
I would say most people would probably go for Zlatan because
He goes to Manchester.
he just signed for Manchester United. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't
But Henrik
support man,
is.
so I'll go with Henrik then.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Henrik. He's a nice guy.
He shares a name with my other favorite Swedish sportsman. So,
Henrik Lundqvist.
Yeah, so
big
I'll
hockey
go with
fan.
Henrik.
Yes,
Ice hockey.
I know he's a big hockey fan.
Yeah.
So Harley Quinn has hockey in his movie.
She doesn't. She waves a lot of sporting equipment, but no hockey sticks.
Oh.
But maybe in the next one we can incorporate that somehow.
You should.
Instead of the baseball bat, she has a hockey stick.
It'd be so organic, so real for you because you play hockey.